Welcome to Conversations with Lauren and Ali, where we bridge all things in the spiritual and human experience.
This is a space where raw honesty meets higher truth, where personal stories open doors to deeper self-awareness, and where the messy, magical journey of being human is honoured as a sacred path of awakening. So, take a breath, get cozy, and join us in today's conversation.
I don't know, just feeling a little bit unhinged. I keep hearing the word
Okay.
repeating in my head.
Why are you
The last
unhinged?
2 days, I don't know. I don't know. I just am. Maybe I feel literally like old parts of me or something um I don't know, being unhinged. And I'm just in this space of I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. I'm just in a space of not feeling like myself, but not feeling like a new version of me or a different version of me, but I don't know, somewhere in between. Do you know what I'm saying? And I
Mm-hmm.
feel quite like I'm having to really keep my mouth shut a little bit today and yesterday, and so I'm feeling a bit bold, like I might say something that
Oh,
yeah,
okay. But
yeah, I
is
don't know.
that boldness wanting to come through, or
Yeah, I think
it's
there is boldness wanting to come through. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
S-
because that's me. That's a part of me, that bold,
yeah,
cheeky kind of, yeah.
more of the authenticity coming
Yeah.
forward? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I can be Captain Serious, I really can be. I know I can be, but I've
Mm-hmm.
also got, me,
Yes.
the other
Yeah.
side of me. Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, good. Good, good.
Yeah.
I guess, we are all in that shift and transition, aren't we, in some way, shape, or form at the moment. Um, and there's moments it feels comfortable, and there's moments that it stretches.
Yeah.
Um, but I think that's with that piece, we've been talking about even yesterday for ages, but just being with your presence in it.
Yep.
So it's
Yeah.
like multiple opportunities, I think, to come back to presence,
Hmm.
um, which is really quite, it's not new. I shouldn't say it like that, but it feels different this time. So,
Yeah.
yes, to us been talking about it and feeling it for so long, but there's something about walking the talk with it at the moment
Hmm.
for me,
Yeah.
um, that feels really different and holding more of a resonance to it than maybe I've had before. And I don't know why, but that's the word that keeps dropping in for me.
No, that's,
Resonance.
I was just about to ask you, and something which absolutely relates to resonance is, do you feel like when you're in your presence or you're really being presence, do you even notice? Do you even consciously think, oh yeah, I'm doing that? Or do you just do it and then the time passes and you go, oh, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I think that it happens unconsciously now.
yeah, yeah,
However, there are moments like this morning for me that I am really cultivating being in my presence because things are trying to pull me away from that. So I think
yeah,
that's what I mean. It's like, okay, this is a moment where I'm going to consciously now bring that in because so much of the time it has been sitting there, if that makes sense.
yeah, yeah. But like you said, there's a resonance already there because
Yeah.
you're choosing it, you're being that, you're doing that, and not really noticing it, it's just happening, but you also are creating more or working towards that or really attuning, that resonance, to be the norm by doing what you're doing, like daily practice, but
Hmm.
really
Hmm.
really connecting and really intentionally,
Yeah.
yeah, tapping into that.
I feel like there's parts of me or us, I don't know if I should, that may not resonate with you, but I feel like there are rebellious parts here as well.
Today. That's
Yes.
the unhinged I'm talking about. I
Very
feel my
rebellious.
unhinged selves like off the leash
Mm,
yesterday and today. It's so sad. I've had to really like, Lauren, just pick your, just pick your audience, be aware of where you are and who is around. Not that, I won't be authentic and be myself, but
hmm
sometimes it's just not an appropriate situation to just really unleash, is it?
hmm
Yeah, but yeah, I definitely feel, and I feel like
Okay.
there's some connection between you and I with this happening because this happened to us in New Zealand, didn't it? Sort of like you described it, maybe our rebellious aspects of self, the
hmm
ones that question everything really,
hmm hmm
and the bold ones kind of came
hmm
forward accidentally in our last conversation that we tried to record for a podcast. And
Yep.
we didn't, yeah, and it just wasn't, yeah, it just didn't need to be shared. But yeah, I think that there must be something about parts of you and
Mm,
parts of me that are doing together or feeling safe maybe to come out and play together in each other's
yeah.
presence.
Yeah. Because yeah, that's actually a really good point. It actually feels like this feels like a different soul connection than we've picked up on previously. But I
Yeah.
do really get this more warrior sense of like we're used to um rebelling, we're used to pushing back, we're used to I don't know, reacting maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah. But you know
Mm,
what? Reacting doesn't always have to be perceived in a negative way either. I think we just sort of hear the word or think of the word react and we think,
mm,
although you have to be mindful, like I was just describing, when you're feeling reactive, you do have to be mindful of, okay, if you can have that awareness, it's actually really fun to let that unhinged side come out and
mhm.
but still have that awareness of going, okay, yeah, there is appropriate levels, or times and places or whatever. But yeah, I think being reactive is sometimes it allows that spontaneous kind of energy, as long as it's in the right context, when it's fun, when it's witty, when it's, wise even. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, and there is a lot of authenticity. There's a fun feeling. There's also a playfulness to it.
Yeah, it's playful.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
I was laughing with a friend of mine yesterday actually, about a lady on Instagram who reminds me, and I've commented to you of my alter ego,
Mm.
Bev. So I mean, I hope you don't mind me sharing this, Ali, but Ali and I have alter egos because my middle name is Beverly and Ali's middle name is Lorraine. So they're like we refer to each other sometimes in that way. We speak to each other in that coming from that voice.
Mm.
And this is what Bev, like my future old lady self, this is Bev. I was laughing to a friend about it yesterday, saying this. Do you see this woman that's on Instagram? I'm like, that is my spirit animal. That is Bev. That's me in 25, 30 years, with that real unhinged attitude. And that's who I feel like it's the spirit of that. It's a part of me, of you, maybe, of us that we're talking about that doesn't give a fuck about a lot of things that we give fucks about. Things we care about now to look a certain way or to be perceived in a certain light or whatever. But it's like Bev and Lorraine, they don't care because they're past all of that. And I feel like
hmm
that's the energy that's coming in. Don't wait till you get past all of it. Feel it now.
hmm hmm
Let
Well,
Lorraine off that leash.
I also think though that's where the playfulness is because I think
Yeah.
that's where I know you're saying unhinged, but it kind of feels to me just it is just unabandoned. It is
Yeah,
just
unabandoned, yes.
unapologetic,
Yeah.
unapologetic and
But
authentically.
playful and
Yeah.
fun
Yeah,
and witty and all of those things.
that's
Yeah, sorry,
right.
I am
That's
using the
right.
term unhinged because that's what I've been feeling like the
I
last
know,
two
I
days.
know. I get it. I get it. But I think if you tune into it as well, and maybe it's the way we relate to the word unhinged. I don't know, but
Yeah, yeah. I might have a different to me unhinged is a funny has a funny kind of
yeah.
connotation about it, a fun side and like people
Hmm.
just absolutely letting loose and not giving a fuck. And yeah, just being loose, I suppose.
Yeah.
Um yeah, so I mean it in a fun way, but also a fairly wild way is that's how I'm feeling right now is pretty wild, and a bit
Yeah.
untamed and yeah.
Well, it's that swing, isn't it? Because when we
Yeah.
open to something, we tend to go from here to here till we
Yeah.
find we find the center in the middle of whatever that is.
Which feels like you can't always be. I couldn't always, I couldn't always be in this completely unhinged state,
No.
because it's just not, you just can't be. You just can't be. It's like you said, I'm feeling that swing from
Yeah.
being like really flat and,
Hmm.
withdrawn, retreating, whatever, to like the opposite ends now. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, of like get out of my way, look out, I'm coming, and you might not like what I've got to say, or I might be a real smart ass here. Yeah. Mm,
Well, it feels like a bit of that release of needing to be prim and proper. I don't know why
yes.
they're the words that are coming in, but this sense of not needing to be prim and proper or presenting in a certain way, like we, in some way, shape, or form. Because I mean, even you with the police, you would have been asked
Oh
to
yeah.
present a certain way
Uh-huh.
and to show up in a
Mhm.
certain way. And there's many environments where we have to sort of toe the line on something that's outside of us, something that maybe doesn't resonate with us. And
Yep.
that can even be childhood. It can be many, it doesn't have to be just a work, but it's really interesting because I was only thinking about this yesterday. Something was coming to me about, what if we just let everybody be who they are without judging them for that? And what if we could just accept and appreciate and not have to comment on it or not have to have a judgment or not have to throw shade, because can't we evolve to that point where we can, we're swung this way of like we comment on people's stuff on social media when we don't like it instead of just moving on.
Yeah.
Um, or even commenting on it when we like it. Like, can we come to this place where we can maybe
Uh-huh.
just like everything? I'm going to use that as an example because I don't know
Yeah.
how else to put it.
Or just be neutral about
Just be
everything.
neutral about it and just appreciate that
It is what it is.
your
Or yeah.
uniqueness is going to be
Yeah.
different to my uniqueness.
Uh-huh.
And somebody else is going to look at that and go, well, that's not my uniqueness, but here's mine. And just let that be. I don't know if that is really simplistic and naive, but I just had this feeling yesterday of like, what if we could all just show up with a little less judgment and a little more neutrality and just let everybody, I mean, within reason, because of course you can't be unhinged and at the detriment to other people.
And we still
No.
do want to celebrate things at times and really give
Hmm.
people like let
Yeah.
people know when something is,
Yeah.
incredible or let ourselves know. Yeah. Yeah,
But
I totally get what you're saying because the same thing's been coming up. I've even had to have those chats with my kids this week, the last couple of days, about them making comments, which is just observations that they
Mhm.
make about other people or other kids, like they've started a new school, and I've had to pull them up and kind of bring them back to that, to
Mhm.
exactly what you just said. Hey, we're all unique. You
Mhm.
can observe things. We're all going to observe things. We're going to see
Oh, of
things
course.
differently.
Yeah.
We're like that's, we're
Hmm.
all different. We're all unique. But you have to just embrace that uniqueness and understand and accept that, yeah, everybody is different. Everybody looks different.
Hmm.
Everybody acts different. Everybody speaks differently. And it's interesting because when I think of it further or when I sort of project outwards or what's coming in is the concept of oneness and unity consciousness. And as an MSI session that I did yesterday was all about that, was
Hmm.
all about connecting with and embodying unity consciousness at a really like oneness it
Hmm.
was a really deep integration and it was
Hmm.
an incredible session yesterday. But when it came down to it, when we sat in it and looked at it for what it was that neutrality. Like you said,
Hmm.
why can't we just, that's unity consciousness. That's
Hmm.
part of how it feels and looks, is why can't we just sit and just observe and be neutral and say, yeah, that is what it is. It's neither good nor bad. It just is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're all connected in one way or another, you know? Yeah.
And just appreciating that there is that because we don't want to be the same
Oh, yes.
because it
That's what I
wouldn't
try
be
and tell
fun
my
if
kids.
it
Yes.
wouldn't
Well,
be the
how
fun.
boring.
Yeah. But
Yes.
I feel like there's something that has shifted about that idea for me since New Zealand and really since we connected with the vaults and bringing through the peace and just bringing through the like thinking about this from a galactic perspective as well, like thinking about all of the different galactic aspects
Yeah.
and how different they all are.
Yeah.
And, this idea of coming into that unity, oneness, neutrality,
Yeah.
peace,
Yeah.
reconciliation, whatever you want to call it.
Yes. They all tie in together, don't they?
And so, how can we embody that here? How can we be that and bring that? And this is what I was thinking like, well, if we each did that, imagine what that would ripple out like. And I know
Oh,
you're not going to get 100% of the population across the
no.
world. I'm not that naive. But it's like, what if there was a majority of us that could even just hold that resonance and hold that and pass that on in, like you just said, pass that on to your kids,
Yeah.
pass
Yeah.
that through to the people we have contact with.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just,
It's
again, this
yeah.
could be being naive, but I would like to think that's the transition to that as a collective we're moving into.
Yes. It's happening. It's like you said, me as an example, not even using the words unity consciousness or oneness or anything with my kids or
Yeah.
teaching them specifically that that's what it is, but just teaching them that that's how it is. That's what it is. That's what
Yeah.
life is. That's how, is a really nice, kind, I talk to them about kindness as well. And that's a kind, kind way of coming from your heart is, understanding that. But
Yeah.
um the girl that I worked with yesterday with that session I was talking about, she's an epic grid worker. And she doesn't even fully realize, I don't think, what she's doing. But
Hmm.
all she does is travels the world. She goes from place to place to place, wherever she is called. And a lot of pieces dropped in yesterday, I think, for her around what she's actually sharing. And it's largely it's unity consciousness.
Mm.
It's oneness. Like you just said, what if, in a collective way, like it can start really, we can all start experiencing it and feeling it, and it's going to sort of spread and grow and ripple out like that. I think there's a lot of people that are already doing, in fact, I know there would be a lot of people already just carrying those codes and sharing them,
Yeah.
whether it's
Yeah.
intentional or not.
Yeah. Well, we
Yeah.
all carry them, I guess, don't we? And so as we're awakening to that and activating that, because that's a lot of what I felt too, that it was me becoming aware of being a keeper of those codes, a carrier of those codes, that was like knowing that everywhere I went, that's what I was tapping into or
That's what, yeah.
leaving.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting too because this feels like it might also relate to this because I have a couple of clients, separate clients, very different industries and backgrounds. But like when we go through this awakening, a lot of us feel like we want to jump into spiritual business, and it's like, well, where am I supposed to be on that spiritual path, and
Yeah.
how am I bringing my gifts, and how am I using my gifts? And it's been really interesting because what's come through for these two has almost been how to weave that into their corporate work in their industry
Wow.
and like understanding that they are what they're holding from their gifts and their soul mission, or I don't know, purpose, whatever you want to call it, their frequency is actually to be in those structures because
Yes.
they both happen to be in finance, which I just realized, different types of roles, but both in kind of finance related roles. And what was coming through was really about bringing some of that shift into that particular industry and
Hmm.
to that particular culture. And so I'm just now thinking about this connection of like how it is already happening um,
Yes.
in ways that people are just maybe coming to
Yes.
terms with and just waking up to, and that we're bringing that into the 3D structure, do you call it?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And that's like we need those light workers in
Mhm.
those places. And I've had many conversation with different clients, the same thing that have been in all sorts of, different industries, that you don't have to step aside and give away your
Mm.
3D, for lack of a better word. I need
Yeah,
to find a
I
better
know.
word. I don't like that term, but
Yeah.
anyway, that's what people understand, I suppose. But yeah, you don't have to throw away your job or think, oh, for me to be spiritual and to really use my gifts, I need to like start my own business where that's all that
Yes.
I do.
Yeah.
It's about the frequency. It's about it, like you
Hmm.
said, we need those people in those spaces, and whether they realize it or not, it's their frequency, it's their vibration, it's
Hmm.
codes that they carry that are just by them being present in those
Yes.
places, in those spaces, amongst connecting with all different types of people, it's rippling out. It's
In their
rippling out.
resonance. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and
Hmm.
that's, without them even doing anything intentionally. And I think, if they know that they've got these beautiful gifts, or they're aware of what their beautiful
Hmm.
gifts are, and they're using them and practicing them and working with them in other ways, all that's doing is bringing them closer to their own soul, if you know what I
Hmm.
mean. It's forging a
Hmm.
deeper relationship within themselves. That's shifting their vibration. That's shifting their consciousness and their frequency. So every time they go through those kind of upgrades and by doing what their soul really wants to do, they're carrying that with them into those spaces as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And it's very important. Like
so important.
it matters. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and I wonder if just thinking about it now too, whether this is important for people to consider where they are and if that they are where they are supposed to be, and maybe there's a new contract they need to just initiate with that workplace or that environment and that
Yeah.
business or whatever it might be, to step into maybe more of this light worker mission is the words I'm
Yes,
hearing.
I'm hearing mission too. Yeah.
Because yeah, they as you just beautifully articulated, they are meant to be in those particular
Yeah.
spaces, and
Yeah.
quite often, I know for me too, there was a compartmentalizing of like thinking it had to be this and that, like it was one or the other. And part of this experience and journey as well, I believe, is us embracing more of the human and divinity, the human and divine potential as one as well, because it's like I'm whole, I'm all of that, and I'm going to
Mm.
bring that wherever I go. So it's not like I'm just switching on to grid work when I'm in a spiritual community
No.
or I'm in a
Yes.
spiritual mode.
Yeah.
Like you're that, you're
Yeah.
holding that no matter where you are. You could be in the supermarket and you're like
Yeah.
holding
Yes.
that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And in those places, in those environments, those light workers that you're talking about that are working in areas like finance, when you look at it in from that perspective that you just explained, it's almost like they carry the divine components, and then
Hmm.
the others that aren't aware of the
Yes.
light work are the really human element.
Hmm.
And it's almost like the combination of the divinity and the physicality, that the divine
Hmm.
codes are brought in, carried in by someone, and then they're anchored by someone who's fully plugged in and anchored into the
Absolutely.
3D realm. It's how
Absolutely.
it's working, and that's unity consciousness. That's oneness. That's all being connected, isn't it?
Beautiful.
Mm,
Hmm.
Thank you for
yeah.
joining us in this space of truth, reflection, and connection. If today's conversation stirred something within you, we invite you to sit with it, journal on it, or share it with someone who walks the path of self-awareness too.
These conversations are living transmissions, and we are so grateful to be on this journey with you. Until next time, Remember, your human experience is sacred and you are never walking alone.
With love, Lauren
and Ali.